by Intel, Vodafone, MSI, DHL, Alienware, Betway, Logitech G, and PaySafeguard.
No player in history has shown the devastating level of performance and power that Simple unleashes on his opponents. Yet ever, the adage remains true. The best player does not beat the best team. Individual greatness is on display every time the Ukrainian enters the server. But trophies are what he hungers after now. Once a one-man team, NaVi has developed into a squad who complement the game's biggest gun. You can set your watch by the consistent play and style of Electronic. Flamey no longer bears the burden of the spotlight and plays many roles for this squad. Zeus and Edward bring major winning experience from CS 1.6 and look to help Simple win his first in CS:GO.
Two years ago, Simple strode out onto that stage. 2016, we saw Simple repping the Team Liquid at the time, and now he finds himself 2018 in that NaVi jersey. It was an organization he always wanted to play for, and now he's on the grand final stage with them, and they are 1-0 up in a best-of-5. I'm joined by YNK and Sponge to talk about this one, and Overpass has been NaVi's playground. We've seen them, you know, take a couple of teams to town on it, or take them to church, as OJ likes to say. Now, Yanko, I want to start with you by just kind of from an outside perspective looking in, it did look like NaVi had full control throughout this game.
Definitely, and you can tell that Big is not as comfortable on this map, even on the T side as they are on some of the others. We saw them a couple of times trying to, go back to the other side late in the round where they didn't have any presence on that opposite side of the map. Then NaVi was really good at saving utility, not using their utility for no reason. A couple of times Big had to jump through smokes with 12 seconds remaining, right? That's obviously going to be a massive issue. You don't have enough time to account for everything, check all the corners. So I agree with Henry. Despite NaVi losing actually some silly rounds, some anti-ecos, this was still a very much comfortable win for them.
Yeah, I'm definitely with that sentiment. Another positive for NaVi is the star trio is all firing, right? We've got Flamey, Simple, and Electronic all doing work. And then Edward as well finding a lot of kills, and Zeus getting the ones that he needed to. So it wasn't to the point where anybody was really lacking for this team. Everybody contributed, and once again, I want to reiterate that sentiment. It felt like their game the entire time.
And just to follow up on that, you said that, there was no one really falling short. I mean, that first half, was there anyone falling short? It was 8-7, we had some ninja defuses, we had some clutches. I mean, coming into the second half, 8-7, going to T-side overpass, it wasn't an impossible feat, was it, Yanko?
I mean, it was 8-7 with the defuse in the smoke, with the tabs and triple K with the AK,
yep,
on the eco. Another eco where Nex got a kill with the USP and then another kill with the MAC-10. So we have already listed 3 rounds that you're not supposed to win. They managed to win them, and it was still only 8-7. And then when you come into the second half, after NaVi secured the pistol round, that's where you knew for Big it's going to be very much an uphill struggle.
Yeah, throughout this tournament, Big have been doing better on their CT sides as opposed to their T sides, right? They've been locking it down, but in this case, not to be. I think a key takeaway for NaVi, though, is they can be their biggest, their own worst enemy in a lot of ways, right? Their emotions, we've known from time to time, get the better of them when communication breaks down, when people get frazzled. That can be an issue. And I thought cracks of that could have potentially started to show after they lost those eco rounds, but they managed to steer the ship clear and stay back and get into the game. But I think if you look at it for Big, it is a positive sign that they were allowed to win those ecos in a way, if you know what I mean, in the sense of they were getting a chance to warm up and prove, hey, we can win these impossible rounds and we can compete on this stage.
Personal opinion time from you, Chad. You know, we cut to a lot of these first-person perspectives, the cameras on the players' monitors. You can see their reactions. I felt like halfway through that game, I was already seeing tabseN head in hand, Smooya shouting at his monitor. Is this okay? Is this a positive sign? Is this a negative sign? What's your read on that?
Look, when we did, it was Pro League in Brazil, this is years ago now, when tabseN was in NRG, we were standing there and in the group stage, they were behind us at the desk and they were emotional then. tabseN's always been an emotional player. And Smooya, only 18 years old, it's going to be much of the same vein, in my opinion. I think the crux for them, it's this, you have to ride that wave of emotion. You're here now, you need to just go with it. The sense of the matter is they are going to lose a lot of silly rounds. It is just going to happen. This is a grand final stage. It's a best of 5 against NaVi, who on paper are the hard favorites. Hard
favorites. And actually, I don't know if this necessarily reinforces that point, but you do have a telestrator for us.
Yes, this is a reset round, so to speak, for Big. It came 2 rounds after the tabseN round really much, and it's an illustration of how NaVi did some things really well in that T side. Despite losing silly rounds, did a great job of mixing things up, which bomb side they're going to go, changing the pace. And as you can see in this particular round, we have Smooya on the AWP, and the rest of the team doesn't have an ideal buy. They decide to go for the B stack early on, got B on the pop flash to maybe try and clear water, something along those lines. Where on the other side of things, you can see NaVi very early on actually grouping towards long, only having Zeus here to spot for information. Now we're going to switch to the overview so you guys can see when it comes to that execute, how NaVi does it a little bit differently compared to the other teams. Often you would see a complete wall of smokes here so you can plant the bomb safely in front of the box and then defend it after that. Or even you would see a wall back here towards bank and towards the players rotating in so you can cut off the bomb site completely. NaVi does something a bit differently. They go for that contact play. They still have utility. They don't use it. You only see the 2 pop flashes and they want to go for contact because the name of the game for NaVi this whole tournament has been amazing trades, and you can see Smooya alone in the bomb site. He misses the first shot, and NaVi still doesn't rush him completely. You expect players to try to go from different sides, but this position around the truck is super powerful, and they don't use a molly for it, even if they had it. So they have to be very careful how they proceed here, because Smooya can effectively get a couple of more kills, and they do a very good job of waiting for the right timing. They get the kill on Smooya, and after that they have a good after-plan situation. Players are in their spots, and they just played correctly from that point on.
No, absolutely, and I think, you know, NaVi, definitely you'd expect them to be happy about that one, starting the series off there, map pick their win. They're on track. That's at least my read of it. We'll find out if Trace has learned anything different, because he's tried his best to try and get hold of a player. Let's see what Trace has learned backstage.
You know, I've tried my damnedest, Alex. I really did, but unfortunately right now it's just a little bit impossible. These players are in the zone, and while I must say NaVi did win that map, they didn't seem too happy about it. It seems though they were a little bit stuck up on maybe some of the mistakes they made in game. But still, you know, we do go to another map.
Okay, so NaVi frustrated when they win. I guess that's nothing new.
Just typical Eastern Europeans. You're never satisfied, win or lose. You're going to find something to argue about.
They certainly are, and I actually have something that you guys might argue about. Dust2. Map 2, in my mind, this is something that Big have not only a bigger shot at, but I think we're going to be going 1-1 here. I'll let you guys discuss amongst yourselves. Yanko, you feeling it too?
I think this is a crucial map for Big, obviously, because I think if they're 0-2 down, seeing them reverse sweep NaVi in a grand final, I think it's a bit too far-fetched, even for the Cinderella storyline we've had. I think more than anything else, if they win Dust2, that gives them a chance to win the series. Doesn't matter which two of the rest 3 maps. I just think mentality-wise, they can't afford to be down 0-2.
I agree that it's really important for them to win this map, but I don't think they're going to do it. I think after that first showing, and NaVi knew this was going to come up, they knew this was going to be probably the first pick of Big. If they haven't done their homework and they haven't addressed a new play style and looked at their CT side, and hopefully now we don't have to see them hedging their bets with 3 players over towards the B bomb side at the start of every round, we might get a competitive NaVi. They have all the pieces of the puzzle to have a strong CT side. Simple roaming with the AWP, you lock down B with the likes of Electronic and Flamey, and then over towards A, you just put either Zeus or Edward as their anchor and the other's the swing player. You just have to set Simple up towards A to do whatever he needs to do, and if they've actually address that, I think they can have a better CT side than what we've seen from them thus far.
And even if you watch that game yesterday versus FaZe, one of the few calls that actually worked on FaZe's T side was the simplest one you could imagine. It was faking that you were going for A long with Big. When they see smokes going over and flashes, all 3 A players focused towards long. That was just Carrigan baiting them into it. The rest of the team ran out Cat. They were in the side before anyone from Big turned around, right? So I think for NaVi, even though it's not natural for them, some of the more fast-paced plays, some more simple fakes along those lines, because Big does tend to over-rotate at times.
Now, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but Dust2, you tend to refer to it as a very AWP influential map.
Definitely, yeah.
AWPs can go off here. I mean, would you advise Smooya to be playing some hyper-aggressive? Do you want to see him going for those frags, or is he just you want him holding the line and being consistent? I mean, what's your requests from Smooya to pick up Dust2? I
think you saw him even yesterday versus FaZe. He was trying to go for a lot of fights. He was playing, you know, behind those mid doors. There was a smoke on Xbox, and he's just searching and searching for kills. And actually, it felt like he should have been punished more for that, right? I mean, he's just actively looking for duels, just pop flash him and, you know, trade effectively with him. But I think definitely for Big, no matter the map in the series, they have to take risks individually and as a team. So for Smooya, you want to see, or because he plays towards B, tabs or go B towards the A side, you want to see them trying to go for some picks that boost on Cat towards lower, you know, whatever it is, you need to try and put NaVi out of their comfort zone.
One of my takeaways for NaVi in that first map on their CT side, they were more than happy to send a player in individually to just die a lot. Did you see how much that was happening, especially over towards that B bomb side? For what purpose? Well, it wasn't intentional. I don't think they were expecting him just to go down, but they were giving up 4v5s at the start of the round a lot of the time. Lucky they were able to recover with multi-kills coming in from the likes of Electronic, but that can't happen again on Dust2, because Big are going to punish you a lot harder on a map like this.
And I think it wasn't as silly as it looked, because every time Edward went for it, there was a pop flash, but they just maybe misjudged the position in which the opponent is in, or the flash wasn't quite right, or he didn't get the kill he was supposed to get. So I'm fine with that. You don't have as much room to go for those plays on Dust2 as you do on overpass, right?
Sure.
A lot of map control is given naturally to the Ts because of the structure of the map. So I think we might see a bit more passive play and retakes from NaVi this time around.
Something that stood out was, albeit not that often, in that FaZe game when Big were defending, there was a couple of rounds, I can think of two off the top of my head, where Nico would just walk into B and the bomb would be down, and within 15 to 20 seconds, they were saving and the round was over. My question is that just how Dust2 plays on occasion, or is that something that Big could be avoiding?
There's a lot of like economical situations that could play into having saves like that, depending on what your phase you are in the game. But in terms of retaking that bomb site, it can be very difficult. We did see earlier in the tournament, and we highlighted it, how some simple smokes and flashes can make an aid in that retake, and that was actually from FaZe earlier in the tournament. They did a fantastic job. Whether or not Big have that same level in their playbook, it must be because it is a map that they want to pick. It is one that they want to play, and they've shown fantastic results on that 16-1 victory against G2. They definitely have depth on this, but it is heavily reliant. Some of the takeaways from yesterday's game was, say, Nex over towards that new car position, right? It seems like an absolute shield, and he was getting spammed, Molotoved, everything, but still able to be a nuisance. NaVi have to work out a way to deal with that position, I think, and that could be a factor for them.
Okay, and in terms of, you know, those win conditions, you already said you think NaVi are going to be taking this one. Yanko, I didn't get to push you.
I think for Big, they need to step up individually a little bit, right? They need to go back to hitting some of those crazy shots that we've seen, because yes, your utility usage is great, but Dust2 is not Inferno. Utility alone is not going to win you the map. You know, such an open map, there's going to be a lot of duels going on. If you can't stop that first guy coming out, if you can't slow down the attack in order for your teammates to rotate in and support you, you're not going to have a great time.
And I mean, Nex has had some of his historically best performances on this very map, and even yesterday, no exception. He looked fantastic. Multi-kills, jumping kills, doesn't matter how he was doing it. I guess he's going to be one of the names at the tip of your tongue, Chad, when you're looking for those performers.
For sure, and I definitely felt his impact on that first map as well. On the CT side, he was still getting multi-kills, so at least he's online. That is a positive factor, and you're right. He's always been instrumental on a map like this, hitting shots with that precise aim that we know him for. Tabson as well on that secondary orb. We know Godb's doing a little bit of it too, but Tabson can also pick that bad boy up. I think those three players, bringing Smooya into the discussion, are going to be instrumental in how they apply those AWPs, because Flamey's going to pick it up if he gets good spawn going towards the long doors. They are going to be juggling it around on that NaVi side. It isn't just simple exclusively. Those are going to be some key jewels.
Just to update everyone here, and of course watching at home, we were just changing out a monitor, a full refreshing monitor for one of the players on NaVi, so we should be able to get back into the game still shortly.
I think an interesting dynamic will be Big yesterday on their T side. They were trying to force A-long a lot early on, and FaZe was punishing them by pushing B every single time. You know, when they would lose control of long, they would push B and they would have a guy on the flank. And sometimes it worked out, sometimes it didn't. But you know, Big, looking back at that game, they're going to figure out that, you know, we lose a lot of presence. That might be something that NaVi will go for as well. So I'm interested to see if Godb has added something like a fake of going out A long and then just waiting for that push in B tunnels and, you know, just getting the trades and entering B after something like that.
That statistic kind of blew my mind. Apparently, NaVi are 0-3 in recent months on Dust2.
Yeah, it's not one of their better maps, but you have to look at, they played, I think, Virtus Pro at that Chinese tournament. They got blown out of the water on that one. That was a 16-6 or 16-4, something along those lines.
So it's a chance for UKCS and, of course, German Counter-Strike to fight back. It is the best of 5 map 2 for this grand final. And as the war horn sounds, we venture once again back into the server, back into the brawl and the battle. Big looking to respond. NaVi 1-0 up in the best of 5.
And it's Dust2 followed by Train. So in many ways, the series starts now for Big, or it could fall apart now. I still think this is the key to it for them.
They were very impressive on Train, I'll give them that, but Dust2, I think they need to find a little bit more success here. Smooya alone goes out towards long, using that spawn, but no one there to challenge him. The rest of Big, however, will be waiting in the B tunnels for now, just seeing if there's any sort of CT aggression coming through. Godby's actually all the way in T spawn, waiting for any pushes towards the top of middle, making sure Suicide is clear, and of course, the entrance of long. So allow Smooya to maybe get a bit more going towards that position, but he's falling back, and they've still got 2 smokes and 3 flashbangs in total. We'll see whether Zeus and Electronic can hold off the potential mid-split that could be coming in. 1 minute 15 remaining. They could just smoke Xbox here and try and go up towards short. There's a smoke coming through. Looks like it will land on the Xbox. That was classic Dust2 meta. Smoke this every single round, and then try and get it towards short. Even if you're not going up there, taking vision away. Yeah, did that miss?
You have to create doubt. It certainly did. Electronic can see the whole way there. So now, whether they go or not, it creates the opposite problem. If they do go, he's going to have vision, and he certainly knows whether or not they do. Good flash through, that'll force him off it. So too with Zeus, who ends up back towards CT, but they still have the crossfire. Zeus won't be able to see above just yet. Hasn't elected to jump up. Good shot. Electronic! Oh, the second one was brilliant. Bomb goes down, and next suddenly scurries away. No chance to go further. Does get 1 kill on it. It's more important that Flamey watches the inside of the site, however, because Godby's gotten the kill back on a weakened Electronic, and Flamey, I thought, would respond. He holds station, which means Next didn't know that he was there because Godby never spotted it. But I think he could have done potentially a little more damage early on. Either way, they get the rounds.
Pretty disastrous stuff there from Big. Wanted to get that smoke down towards Xbox. You could see that really kind of rattled them at that point. It completely missed. The idea of the Xbox smoke is to block vision towards short, so the CTs have no idea. Maybe forces the rotation back up towards the A side, but the fact they can still see short when they keep 2 players towards middle, and at that point, Electronic went to town on them. This second shot especially, my goodness, that is quite special. Shuts the round down, and Big do not get a plant. Suggests they'll be getting some pistols here, and Simple will be removing one of them. Smooya completely destroyed at the beginning of the second round here, taking down a swift headshot from this scout. We're going to have a P250 and 1 smoke, and that's on the utility belt of Godby. So 5-on-4, nice and early for the CTs.
Scout goes back. Did realize he spotted one back towards T-spawn. Won't hit it. Bit of damage dealt his direction. Tizian, best chance he could. Try and spray into it. Smoke now off. Zeus will get Tizian pushing back out, and Edwards got control of Catwalk. So the pretty straightforward round. Bomb plant the agenda with the smoke for Godby. Even that becomes a little bit more difficult, but next opening up one on Zeus takes out their anchor at long. Potential to exploit it. They'll rotate accordingly and put Simple in that position as Edwards subsides slightly. Flamey, good trade. But again, a trade that's going to create space. Electronic now goes all the way toward the tunnels. If he goes too far on this and Edwards not careful, they could rotate in directly behind him. Electronic has to watch this.
Edwards towards middle, does take down the bomb and pretty much secures the round at that point. 40 seconds remaining, and it's just Godby who does manage to inflict tremendous damage towards Edward there, but still so much work to do. Nowhere near a sight right now. Throws the smoke, and he might be focusing towards CT spawn here. Gets the Deagle out for that increased range, of course, but time ticking away. He knows his options are extremely limited. Best option at this point, try to get towards B and challenge Edward, who's got that very low health, but Simple will finish things off there. It is going to be 2-0. Quite a comfortable one. Now, they do look to 2 players overall, but that's absolutely fine. I'll repurchase with SMGs here, and it's another eco for Big. Ideally, would have had similar scenes to what we had on Overpass. You take that eco in the second round, even if you get the bomb down, then try and get another plant, and at that point, you would have another bite of the cherry. But either way, it is going to be Big now. It's a PD50s, no armor once more. Great shot from Simple to kick things off, and next, looking pretty promising on the Deagle. Yet to see him really go off to the levels he was yesterday, but still, it's quite early on still, man, in this best of 5.
2 men to the corner. Zeus will push up. position has been very effective so far this weekend. The Molotov, he knows he can get there as well. No one's going to dare push through that without armor, and getting him behind the doorway, he'll control it more effectively. Watch out, Simple. Overwhelmed, knows they're above, good read. Hard to aim straight up, always. Just to get one kill from it, as Tizian is the last remaining. He picks up the bomb, but takes the damage from a nade. Good read, the Deuce is behind him, hang on. Still a 1 versus 3, but bomb plants are what are important. He's going to commit to trying to battle.
That smoke just removes him from the area now, so his options, try and get towards shore, but he will have a gap. That's exactly what I was talking about. Electronic at the right angle can spot him. An ambitious pick with the MP9 at that range, doesn't work out for him. There it is, the 3-0. Fiat is joining us the second map, and this is actually the German squad's map pick, Dust2, and we should be following Tizian for the next round. I'll tell you that right now, because he's got the best spawn possible for the long area. We casted big on this particular map yesterday, Matt, and they really did focus on long. They wanted to try and get there almost every single round.
There was something that was predictable in it. It still worked. Even if it was predictable, they still made it work. Every time they won long, they would fall back. Kerrigan saw that and did start to rotate accordingly in playing catwalk. Whether or not NaVi saw that as part of the sample they got from watching that game yesterday, yet to be determined. Again, they'll win long corner. They're extremely good at getting out there. Whether it's by duel or utility, they always get a bit of map control.
One thing I will say, though, respect to Zeus there. He manages to get the smoke down, the flashbang, a bit of more significant damage to Tizian, and he didn't overcommit. Sometimes some players will be guilty of taking the duel and trying to get the first pick. It actually ends up being a lot worse if you go down even just one kill. So he goes back, he's got the information, and they have long. That's an asset for Big, of course. That's why they want to be there. There's many different smoke options from here. You can smoke towards CT Sport, you can smoke shore, you can Molotov the car. It's a great area of the map to have. And I like this. They've fallen back and now heading up towards shore. Simple narrowly misses out on the first kill.
Yeah, again, I'll use the banana comparison. Simple, maybe I'll get back to that. Just gonna get overrun. Tries to fire in a very small smoked gap. Dobby's still expecting he might try again, knowing that it is Simple and how audacious he could be at times. Meanwhile, he's gone back to watch long A. Now push up the wall. Flash, peek behind it. He's got to jump a little bit to do it. Plays the inside of the box instead. Tighter angle, still couldn't land the shot, and he's limited by the small little half wall, the ankle ledge beside him as Next takes down the first shot. Simple's overwhelmed. Good execution. Smoke to CT. They're already backing off 3-1.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's why long is such a valuable piece of the map. It's so stifling for the CTs. The idea is once you have long control, you've established that, you're going to be rotating back into your default. Leave a couple of players there, then you go up towards short. And if Simple gets that first kill, that's horrendous, but he missed it. And then they've pushed him back towards the side. What happens at that point? He's got pressure from long and short, and he just either has to fall back or try and fight them. Obviously went for the fight, didn't hit any of the shots. Their utility usage was very good. They smoke CT spawn, they Molotov the side, they flash over and go at him at the same time. And he just can't find a position to even find an opening kill there. So perfectly played by Big. It's why they want to be playing this map. That's a classic Dust2 approach. And for now, 3 players trying to survive on the NaVi side. You can see they've got 3 rifles here. In terms of the overall money, they've even got enough for another buy. So saving 3 rifles will be very beneficial going forward. But there we go. Big are on the board, and all 5 players survive. That's not bad at all. Electronic survived right in the nick of time.
Just barely. Yeah, to go back to your point as well, I use the banana comparison in the last map as well with water. Not every map has a defined middle in the same stance that it is the important integral. You know, Mirage, I would say mid is cash. To an extent, you can play around it. There's other options, certainly, but it becomes very important because if you can get it, you can utilize it. Long is very similar on Dust2. More so than mid, because mid doesn't offer you much. You still have a very clear mid wall that has a door to get through.
For me, the best comparison would be maybe it's similar to Nuke, the ramp room.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah, so once you get that, you have options. It's not a bomb site, but it's a really significant objective of the map. If you get the ramp room, they've lost information, and now you've got access to 2 sites, and you can do something with it. So I think it's a really solid part of the map, and that's why so many teams will take that long spawn every single time. And Big, you don't even have to use the best spawn. You can do what we call a long retake, is when you do a default at start, and then you go back to the long smokes. You'll smoke the corner completely with 2, so you can't be seen from the A side. Flash over, Molotov the pit, and just try and get a player in there. So it doesn't have to be spawn based, but it's such an advantage to get the best spawn and try and run out and challenge, especially with the AWP. But there we go. Next has got the spawn this time, and will he be taking it? It looks like he will commit. He's going to take the peek towards long, but takes a nade to the face first. Tries to throw a bit of damage. That hasn't really worked out for him.
So they double up long. To see when Guardian was on the NaVi side, they would attempt the same approach to try and control it. And this time, despite that everyone is backed off and it is available to them, they won't anchor to it because Smooya is still holding over toward B. We finally get a rock battle as well, as he has one on the attacking side. Electronic is playing from. That flash trajectory suggests he's in the backside of the boxes. Which allows Gobby. Rite of passage up the wall. Flash won't catch him. Good hold from Electronic. Creative angle. Doesn't have a window to shoot at. In fact, he had to hit a headshot on the way through. M4 makes that more difficult. Overstays as well. And runs to Tapson, but Tapson goes down to Flamey. Speaking of a bit incendiary, as Smoothie gets the shot back, he's the only one left. 1 versus 3. Bomb down has at least crossed over with the box to protect the window, and the smoke down at the doors. They won't push aggressively. Zeus is on his own. If he goes down here, a chance for Smoothie, but he makes 2.
Oh, big commitment there from Zeus. Pushing through the window once the bomb had been planted as well. Luckily, the timing was completely in his favor, and it will be simple to now have a secondary AWPer with him. I don't think it'll be Zeus. I assume that gets given to Flaming. Or maybe Electronic as well. He's going to be pretty handy with that weapon these days as well. It will be round number 6, and Big have been reset, but like we said before, the round they did win, they kept all 5 players alive, and they got the bomb down in the previous round. What's going on here, Matt? We're not in Australia. Don't do it! Oh my God, he's going for it! The shoey! Happening here in Cologne. We don't even allow them in Sydney, Matt. Why
Union Jack, Commonwealth, I guess it's extending like a flag. Smoothie has gone suicide with an AWP. I still say if I'm ever going to do one of those, you got to give me a brand new shoe, or I'm going to win a Formula 1 Grand Prix. And I think it's going to have to be the brand new shoe out of the 2 of those, if I'm honest. His next gets tagged, still makes up for it though. As he gets blinded, he takes down Simple with a headshot over top of the wall toward ramp. And opens up a bit of room on A. More importantly, it takes the AWP out of the anchor position. They still have to worry about Zeus and Edward, but a bounce flash to corner gives them clearance to at least get behind the boxes. They can go for the short plant, and they can do it quickly. They've got to do it quickly. Next holds again, he's low on HP. Flamey manages to at least get Gobby back, but it was Tizian's kill on Edward that allows the plant in the end, and Tapson to hold solo towards short, having the call come in that the bomb was certainly headed that direction. They're backing off. It's Big's round, 4-2.
Definitely is their round. Nice work again. You can see they enjoy playing this map. It was a scrappy affair on the A bomb side. Next with low HP, still manages to get 2. And Simple with no frag. It's always going to be a massive victory. And the money now starting to run quite low for NaVi. Going to be the most devastating of resets of 2 players surviving here, especially Electronic with that AK. Flamey got the AWP, they're holding right up there in T-spawn. And Big can't really justify going on a massive hunt for these 2 players because their money isn't exactly established either. But there we go, it is going to be 4-2. Big getting it done as they finish up towards A. I take it back, Tapson does take down the AWP, that's fantastic. As he finishes things off there, that might call for an eco now. Saving the AWP. They're almost certainly going to force around those 2 weapons, but Tapson does a great job in finding the final player. Very common position to save weaponry. The T-spawn ramp outside the B tunnels there. And here's next. Someone who's been looking so good in this tournament. A resurgence from his 2015 form. His way back when he was in Mousesports, and on this map, believe it or not, as Tizian uses the spawn once again. Up against the eco now of NaVi. Needs to be very careful here. Gets to the safety of the blue box.
Oh, Tapson's not going to. Tizian protects him. That's friendship at its finest. As Tapson then gets boosted up, he's able, in combination with Next, to take down Electronic. Again, long becomes the approach and long becomes the objective. That is successfully taken by Big. So to that shot from Smoothie through the doors. He tags up Edward. Simple caught him off, pushing up catwalk. He wants that off. I'm not sure that he's aware that Gobby's also back towards spawn.
Here we go then. Big in the 4 versus 2 should be absolutely fine at this point. A comfortable finish. There is 1 player pushing towards T-spawn. That's going to be Edward. Got beat on the suicide angle, and that's going to be it. That confirms the victory now. Edward might be able to save 1 weapon. He's making noise, so got beat. Should be able to finish things off. Big lock burst fire. A little bit risky, but it works out for him. And there will be 4 players to survive, and Godby has the AWP now, so that's going to be nice for him. He's going to give it to Smoothie, of course. Godby has been using the AWP quite a lot in this tournament, I have to say. Apparently, his teammates dropped 1 in the game once, he used it for 1 round, and got 2 kills. And ever since then, he's been happy to walk for them. You can see the frustration coming in there for Zeus. Very passionate player. As the double AWP setup comes out once again for NaVi, Flamey and Simple. Simple has been pretty contained this series so far. He had a good showing on Overpass, but it wasn't an unbelievable one.
Still, though, they got the map. That's all he cares about. Let's watch a Simple holds catwalk. They've also got a cheeky position from Flamey, although he's moved now. He was toward the window and therefore could swing back to support Edward in holding middle. Simple's going to take this beat all the way around. around. All the way around, no question about it. Godby never had a chance, but Simple's got that hold on. Smoke down as it dissipates. Flamey finds 2 more. Ops with 3 kills from 2 different players so far for NaVi. Nex has got in though, and he gets on top of the box just enough to find Edward transitioning in the sight still though. They've got to find not only that AWP, which now gets toward the fence, but closet as well. And if they think the sight's open on 2 kills, they've got problems. If they don't even check it, which they won't, Electronic takes the bomb back 55 seconds, but it's just Tizian. Has to cut off Simple.
Yeah, he's got a lot of work to do here. This could be possible, but Simple removes all threats. 3 versus 1. And like he said, it's unorthodox to have 3 players in that B bomb, so they get 2 kills and think it'll be clear. And you'd probably, most of the time, be correct in thinking that, but there was one more sneaky player towards the end. But what great work this was from Flamey and Simple. This is why the double orbs are so prevalent on Dust2. It's a map that's split right in half down into the mid-area. Orb on the A side and in one towards B. It means you can have just one player playing B sometimes once he gets established, holding the back towards the window or the platform, and he can have much more firepower towards middle and A. This looks like a faster approach or a change of pace. Godby is quite good at calling these sort of rounds. He sent 2 players out towards middle already. There's an early smoke in the spawn area, and just Flamey waiting in B, but it might not matter. Zeus helps him out from CT Sport.
We saw that smoke from them yesterday as well. You originally thought it was a miss. I think it might actually be designed so that it blocks off more of the firebox.
Indeed, that's what I think as well.
It still has a gap. I think that's inevitable. There's no little ledge you can put it up on, so when they get toward the window where Nex is now, he's got problems. Residue still in place, though, from a further nade deployed, and they won't be able to spot him. Dissipation as well as they sort of bloom higher in the air. They don't get to see him. He's timed it perfectly, goes back for more though, but Simple and Edward find kills in their favor. Down to Smooya once more. Nex didn't need to jump in. Smooya's got the sight on his own, but this is going to have to be absolutely incredible.
Wow. Let's see what he can do with it. They have got incendiaries and 3 smokes. They should be able to eradicate a lot of risk here. Smoke on the site, take away vision best they can. You want to be smoking the back of that platform as well. That would be ideal. But Electronics just jumped in here. He spotted him, and it's going to be a quick finish there. Not really much Simple. Oh, so Smooya could do. Those names correct. As he holds towards the bottom side box there, not really a lot of options. Just hoping the timings works in his favor. He focused towards the tunnel position, but Electronic just ran through, took him down, and the double orbs come out once again for NaVi. They've been so powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, as soon as Electronic went through the window, Edward knew he had to be staring that direction. So whether he peeked him and found him, they had positional information. So 6-3 in favor of NaVi. T-side domination by Big over G2. It was a much closer affair against FaZe. By no means are they out of this. So will be Flamey and Simple again. We'll see if they continue to play aggressive. Electronic able to get 1 AK carried over to the CT side. Tactical timeout called, the first of 4. Ia gets to chime in. We saw how emotional he was about things yesterday.
That's absolutely true. Timeout, ball leaves to what looks like an eco right now. Round 10, 80-50s in blocks. They have 1 smoke, 1 Molotov, and a couple of flashbangs. What could that mean? They could maybe go for long A, try and get out of the doors and smoke the crossover. Smoke Xbox again and see whether they can get towards short. I say again, it did miss the first time around. It is the Xbox smoke. This time it is successful, but Molotov on top of it means they have to run through the flames. They want to make it through, but I guess they could just wait and jump up on the Xbox itself. Another incendiary goes down. So just doing a little bit of chip damage here as Smooya and Tamsin take the brunt of it. Holding them off very nicely though, they are contained. All 5 players towards shore, extremely vulnerable to HE grenades right now. There's one of them, not quite deep enough though. Nex is the only player with any sort of armor. Waiting on the side for them is Flamey with that secondary orb.
Potential for drop. We know that Godby was caught out twice by that from FaZe yesterday. Nex did adjust accordingly, but we'll see if they take a leaf from that book. Nex goes back to clear out lower tons. Pushing him to get that he's spotted, which means information hasn't been that gathered and that well contained from the defensive side. Where it still plays below on the ramp. Smokes go through the gap a little bit further out. Limits Flamey's angle. He'll play box for coverage and let them get all the way toward the corner. Just to anticipate a boost perhaps above the smoke and fires into it. Edward just needs to be worried about utility. If they find him, or overrun him by getting above. Now they flash off. Exactly that. Such good use again from Utility, and Nexus position's perfect. He was waiting all along. Didn't read that Simple was so close, but they're already backing off. Maybe too early. Maybe a little bit premature from Simple to suggest that this was over, because Zeus finds a kill from Carr. He now gives up as well. He goes back toward the anchor position, expecting the rotation, not knowing where the two players on short have gone, and Simple switches to the AK instead. That puts him in elevator, a closed quarter. He's trapped off, he's pincered in, but he's got 1 versus 2, and an AK shut down by Goppy.
Another eco victory for Big here, as they take away round number 10. That sabotaged the efforts at NaVi. They were looking so comfortable, they were holding them off so well. But that's maybe why you want to save those incendiaries enough when they finally commit. They use all of them to just try and do some damage across up towards short. That didn't really do anything to succeed and find the round victory. It did a little bit of damage, but if you held them off and they finally commit, you deny the plant, you don't have to challenge as much. I feel like they're dumping the utility way too early. And now we get into a force buy situation, and Smooya's going to find the orb shot. Lovely one of that to take down Simple. I think he had a scout. No, he actually had the AWP. There we go. And it's going to be recovered and given to Flamey now, as Edward will have the scouts.
I think he's more comfortable, obviously, with the MP9, or MP7, excuse me. He grabs MP9 for electronic. So again, long control for Big. Elevator boost puts Flamey closer to electronic. As the op also starts to get control toward Goose. It can now control either catwalk or long. Again, it's the impressive use of utility in the last round that give them so much to work with.
Very slow. Very methodical so far from Big. You can see they've got that long control. We've already discussed how this is beneficial. They're not going to fall back on it, though. They're going to just send the commitment up and go for another one of these contact plays. Fortunately for them, there are 3 CT players there, so they could be quite vulnerable here. The smoke is absolutely useless, as Edward's got a massive gap in it, so it doesn't really help him out too much. As Smooya continues to find shots here. This looks like quite an easy finish now for the Big side. They're completely dismantling the defense as Tizian finds a penultimate kill, and just Zeus remains. It's going to be 6-5. Big's pick. And they're getting things back together. But this was a force buy as well from NaVi, not into the eco. So they went with everything they've got, and that victory there from Big might find them a couple of rounds. So Zeus, good for 1, but that's about it. Won't be taking any weaponry into the next rounds. 12 coming up, has to be the full eco now. Big look to win the half as they swing back into this one. Double orb set up on the T side. So they'll go for some damage at the beginning of the round. Let's see if that works out for them. But I don't think NaVi can justify really anything, but it's not even P250. I think that'd be a stretch at this point. They get one of those and 1 smoke. No shots landed as they cross over. 3 players deciding to try their luck towards B, but you can be spotted, obviously. If you're watching those doors, you can count how many players go across, and there's 3 there. So presumably they'll be holding up and seeing if they can get a pick on that side of the map.
Closer, you mentioned it. They'll let him use the op from time to time. It seemed yesterday as well in the double up setup when they occasionally ran it on the T side. He was the one to pick it up rather than Tapson. You want his explosiveness on the AK.
Exactly. You want him going in first. He's going to be making things happen, and he can ult, but he feels like he's better off on the defensive side of things. Can just hold an angle, and a bomb side do an amazing job. But Flamey's now got an AWP. I still think the round's going to go in favor of Big, but there's still a chance he could do something with this. But he's on the B side of the map, and they're committing towards A, but the bomb's not there.
Bomb's not there, and look who's near the bomb.
Oh,
Edwards pushed up long. They know that this isn't even about saving the AWP anymore. They've got suddenly a chance to catch them off. Unfortunately, Edwards' position has been discovered, and Tizian starts to work toward Cat.
This should be a round now, because you see Tapson's already at the car. He's secured A completely. He's given the call, you can come here. It's not going to be a problem. I'll watch long and make sure that's fine. Once the bomb goes down, that should be an absolute round for Big. I don't see any sort of danger here. Really simple. Still alive as electronic will be dropped there. Flamey gets another frag, but these are just him saving the AWP at this point.
So that's 1 to work with. Saves a lot of money for them. This will be a 3rd round bonus with everyone around 2K. AK picked up for Simple. 6-6. Players staying alive again. This gives Smooya basically a buy in hand. So two with taps in Tizian, so it'll take 2 rounds to take them back down to pistols again. This puts us toward round 15 in itself if this doesn't go its way for Big.
Well, some good news for NaVi. They do manage to take the orb from the previous round into this one. 6-6 though. Big winning the last 3 rounds in a row. Fantastic stuff from them. You can see why they like this map. It suits their play style. You've got options to go fast, of course, and you can go very slow and use the utility and flush players out. That's something they're very good at. Their use of Molotovs and doubling up those with flashbangs and HEs, of course. They're good at finding out positions as Smooya takes another shot through the mid doors there. Nothing connecting this time. Maybe Gobi can. Has been decent with the AWP so far. That one narrowly misses out and he'll go down to 40 HP.
Tizian now tasked with long. Meanwhile, it's back towards mid. They'll converge. Smooya finding Simple. One up to another. Getting him behind the door. No utility to clear him. He swings out, catches off Smooya, but when he retreats, Tapson not only has the angle, but there was flames at his feet. Nowhere to go. 2-man advantage now for Big. As Zeus and Electronic try and recover. Falling back off of long. They do get position to find damage into Tapson. Damage therefore into 3 players. Flamey grabs the AWP instead. That much damage. They've got to be somewhat cautious of nades heading that direction. Instead, though, Electronic's going to get flashed in. Back turn, they hear it, but they are looking somehow. Still, Electronic gets away with it. Surely, I thought they would turn around and be reactive. They can't. He's got 3. A missed shot taps in. Flamey retreats off, and he knows he doesn't need to let this go to a one-on-one because the bomb is nowhere near. Excuse me, I should say there's still 2 more in it, but either way, no chance in isolating it. And Electronic, the absolute hero in the round, finally gets disposed of, but Zeus has joined his position. Easy trade.
And that's what Electronic has been doing all tournament long, posting amazing numbers with those sort of plays. Holds towards short, they've got the man disadvantage. He knows he has to play in front of the bomb site, catch them before they fully execute. He knows their grenades are going to be way too strong. Flamey opens things up. He comes barreling around the corner there with the M4A4. They weren't anticipating that sort of play. You can see their disappointment. They know it's a huge round to give away, considering the lead they had. They still have money here. This will be the final buy. And it's round number 14, so need to at least get the bomb down in this round. As Simple gets flashed off, he has been bested by Smooya in the last few rounds. He's back on the AWP, but so is Flamey. That's been such a strong setup for them. Smooya this time going for the same pick, looking towards the exact same angle he found Simple in before. And actually going to commit to walking out of the doors potentially here. He's going to let his teammates go first. It's the right decision with the AK.
That guy's got a lot of friends in this building. It's given to them pretty much this time. Smoke goes down again. Big will try and double that up again. One further, or slightly staggered, I should say, further out than the other, trying to give space. Again. Simple falls one more time. It's Smooya to start it off now. Remember, they were in a 5 versus 3 last round as well. This time they get into a 5 versus 1. And Flamey's suddenly going, well, I'll stay right here. I wish this car moved. I'd use it to get the hell out, but he does take down Smooya at least.
And Duncan made this point yesterday. Smooya might not get a crazy amount of frags, but the ones he do find are very impactful. The fact he's managed to beat Smooya in a 1 versus 1 twice in a row now is absolutely fantastic for them. That's what you call a B split, man. It doesn't get much better than that. You're all gets the opening pick towards window. The smoke's down at CT's forward. Everyone's pincering towards B and nailing their shots with the AK-47. They've just completely sabotaged the money for NaVi in the final round here. They're going to be going in with SMGs, scouts, and pistols. And Big looking to win the half at this point. They were actually 4-1 down. They could potentially bring it into 8-7 in their favor. Big looking a lot stronger here on Dust2 now. It's a scout. There's one UMP, an MP7, and there's Tizian just holding off the flanks there from short. Great shots by him. Anticipating the push, and here's Gobi once again going towards long. This time nails a shot, and Simple. He hasn't done a lot in the last 5 rounds. Been taken down first most of the time.
One thought goes in. Tizian's aware that they actually ran through that. Spotted Zeus, but hasn't disposed of him yet. He knows he's locked in as well, so all he has to do is hold the corridor. Meanwhile, Tapson sneaks out catwalk. Edward tags him, easily switches over to the pistol, has lots of time, but caught in the air by Gopi, who tries to catch Electronic in transition. In doing not, leaves himself to go down. Fortunately, however, for Electronic, it is now just he remaining versus 3, and Nex has him. It is the half for Big, 8-7. Same score we had in the first game. This time, however, they're in the lead, and Dust2 has been their map.
Dust2 is their map, and it's wide open right now. Big with the lead, they'll swerve to the CT side, of course. And that's when the AWP becomes very impactful. That's where you'll see Tabson pick up that secondary AWP as well. He has been phenomenal with that particular weapon. He's been fantastic all tournament. It's nice to see him returning back to that form we saw at the PGL Major over in Krakow. And it's been a while, but he's right back into it, finding that superstar form. We'll have a look at the buys as they come in. There is a technical pause. See the odds on the screen there. NaVi still the absolute favourites, but I do feel that Big can pull this map back at least. Hopefully the technical issue won't take too much time here. And we can look at the buy at least. We're going to see 3 sets of Kevlar, 1 smoke and a flashbang. In terms of the CT, he's going to have 1 kit and Tizian. A couple of flashbangs there. No upgraded pistols from I can see just yet. Simple has gone for the P250 armor combo though, so that is going to be quite nice. That means he can go toe-to-toe with the CD players. Whenever I see that, I normally speculate that he's going to be trying to work towards long because it's a very valuable part of the map. The Glocks trying to challenge that corner don't really have the range to justify it, but if you get a P250 out, that does have 1 tap potential and a lot more range than the Glock. So if he wants to go challenge long, he can actually successfully do that. He has got an okay spawn form, not the best, probably like 3rd or 4th in the pecking order. But he is facing in that direction. I would speculate. Simple tries to go pick long first. If they get it, they smoke the crossover, try and flash it. It'll be something quite simple but effective. We will see. 1 pause coming home. And we'll see round number 1 in the second half begin. 4 flashbangs in total for CTs, just 1 for NaVi. Simple heads towards long, so presumably he goes first. Electronic might take the bait. There we go. Wants to try and pick the corner. If he gets it, that's when they'll commit.
Flash out. Oh my god. Good night, Simple. Been run down early in rounds quite often as of late. That's going to start to play in his mind. He likes to be alive in important moments. As Edward runs down past the flash, it's actually Tabson that adds yet another Electronic to fall. Going to continue on. 3 kills so far for him, and he's still in the mix toward long as well because they'll wrap around toward the platform. Flamey, meanwhile, has to protect Edward. Check down towards spawn himself. Shots toward Tizzy and don't yet land. Edward jumps, committing to it. Bomb down between the 2 pairs. They can isolate this and open up the map again if they wanted to wrap back through middle, but still. Gompy holds. A bit more damage. And they don't have to react to it, so that's exactly what they wanted to do. They can now hold off 1 approach to it, but Tizian is doubled up. Oh, I say that, all of a sudden Tabson's going to rotate around.
This is going to be such a frustrating round for Big if they give this one out. It could be the collapse of them. 4 on 2, and they're getting picked off 1 by 1. Tabson comes in, he's got 3 kills so far, does not deserve to lose this round, and he's committing to the ace. Here we go! He absolutely pulls it off. What an amazing round by him. It got very scary at one point because see his coach getting the crowd behind him.
That is insane. The fact that he gives up the bomb, they don't play that passively at all. They were split 2-2. As soon as they lost it, I said there was time. There was. That they could have rotated around. All he had to do really, in theory, was sit with Tizian, but he takes matters into his own hands and an ace to start off the second half.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yesterday as well, keep in mind, against FaZe, he had something like 2 kills after 10 rounds, maybe. I think it was almost toward the end of the half. I think he got a few more than that. Point is, he finished 2nd on the scoreboard behind Nex, all due to CT contribution. So that's amazing that he starts off with an ace.
That's only his 10th frag, so he had a quiet start on Dust2
If they get
again.
the economy, watch the double up, though.
Yeah, that's true. That's when he really starts to wake up. It was a quiet game from him until that point. But here we go. The force buy comes in from NaVi. Felt like they did enough to pull that pistol back, and this is the boost we did see earlier in the tournament towards those long doors is looking over. We're going to see potential A split coming in here. 3 players heading towards short. Flamey holding the mid doors. Very passive setup from Big. You see Smooya and Tizian inside the B bombs, allowing middle to be open, but Smooya watches it from the doors. He's only got the MP7. Could be a bit of an issue if the scout comes out first. Simple. Better be using that weapon. Presumably scopes towards the window first, but that damage is significant. Edward eats grenades and goes down to 2 HP.
Smoke off again towards CT. Simple. Desperate to get back into the swing of things. Couldn't find the shot toward the doorway. Knew that there were shots heading over his head from back at A. Back off as well and go toward Cat. Kitty's on fire. They go all around the corner. Tapson has next to bait in. It's not just about him. He's gone down without getting a single kill in this, surprisingly. Next is the MP9 though, and they are weakened up. That means he can try to spray it. Flamey has to respond. Simple gets one on Smooya. What a turnaround, because suddenly they lose Goose, they lose control of Long. It's Gobi that has to swing out. Say hello to the Godfather's little friend as the SMG shuts down everyone, Zeus included.
Pretty remarkable scenes there. Gobi, sure they're all weakened up for him, but that's a scary situation to be in. Your A bomb side defense has completely collapsed there. And it seems like NaVi got to run away with the round in the second force buy. It didn't happen for them. They didn't even get a plant out of it. It will be big, recovering the situation and farming a lot of cash at the same time. Simple. They've force bought this. That's a ballsy play. They've gone for the Deagle CZ scout combo, all with armor, and a little bit of utility. I guess it's because of this reason. Big are going to assume it's a full eco here. Smooya needs the double kill. He's going to get it, maybe one more. It's Zeus to take him down eventually, but the damage has been done.
Damage has. 2 is all he needed in that. They can work off of it. Bomb still, just to note, well down, or left down toward T-spawn. Simple will grab it now. Zeus to go in. Tizian, good positioning. Edward still holds to give them the chance to go elsewhere should they elect to. Tizian decides he's had enough of standing around doing nothing. Jumps down and spots Zeus, takes him on to 30 HP. Meanwhile, Nex is still inside of the site behind boxes. So they will go back around. Edward holding does give them the option. I said that, and that allows Simple as well to use the only utility he had and throw in a smoke to try and keep them there long enough. Remember, smoke full animation I think is 18 seconds, but it's about 13 that it's irrelevant, that you can't get any information behind it.
30 seconds now. Edward, Zeus and Simple make their way towards A. They managed to get kills with these pistols before. Can they replicate that again? Gonna have to take some very precise deagle shots, or maybe one from the scout. And it's gonna be a drop down with the bomb, and that's gonna signify the round being over, because Zeus can do nothing about this. What? He still can't plant.
Yeah, doesn't matter. He gets 2 kills. He certainly makes this matter economically. Gets away with 1 HP as well. He'll hold an M4, but he cannot get to the bomb, so Big just barely get away with the round. The kill on the drop, if that went the other way and the bomb was held, that round does fall apart.
Definitely makes it expensive. So far, so good though for Big. And remember, that was the force buy. Again, 2 in a row from NaVi, and they haven't got a plant down at all in this half, and Zeus will get no money for that round at all. He gets a few kills, however, so that'll give him $900. But that's about it, Matt. He's got the M4 armor, and they've got an average about $2,400 per player. Do they force into this again and completely destroy their own game out of force buying? Or do they have to concede and let another round slip by and take the full eco? Electron has already decided they're forcing again. This is a scary situation for them. Now, Simple's going to purchase the AK. He hasn't got armor. Presumably he has to drop that to electronic. Or does he just straight up use it? No Kevlar, AK. Give it a go. This is such a scary moment. They've completely destroyed their own finances here. Hope they can pull it off.
Zeus doesn't get much damage done onto Tapson, and the nade heading the other direction puts him down to 56. Flashback over. Do they want to reclaim territory? Doesn't appear so. Meanwhile, look at the push at B. Smooya and Tizian are both all the way up inside of the tunnels. Smooya, remember, has the AWP, and Flamey's heading back that direction. Good opener again from Big.
Smooya's been very good at doing that. So he takes the orb towards B. He doesn't just sit at the back of the site. He'll play actively right in front of the tunnel, sometimes pushing in just like that. He had some backup from a teammate as well. They get a nice opening pick. They got some information. Tapson got a lot more than he bargained for. And he's holding towards Sean, taken down by a deadly bullet from Electronic. 4 on 4 now. And that's another rifle given up, so they can go recover. It's actually the AWP. If they can get that to Simple, that would be fantastic. As we get into a 4-on-4, low HP on Zeus and Tizian below half as well. So there's the orb. Zeus is confirmed, it's clear. Can they get it in the hands of Simple now? Zeus is going to use it? Okay, good call. Give it a Simple.
Yeah, that's probably the one you want to have it. Let's see if he can do anything with it. He looks toward the ramp. This should be a shot toward next. Surely he gets angled next. Pulls back Electronic. Simple's unsure of what to do with 19 seconds. He just wants to get to the site with the bomb. The fact that Edward's out toward long means he'll get the plant as well. But Zeus is so low in the corner. He's going to try and hug the wall and catch off Tizzy and further smoke down.
This is a difficult round now. They've got Smooth on the AWP. He's all the way to the mid-doors right now. Tizian, you can see the crowd trying to help him out somewhat. He is aware as a player right by him. Can he find the shot though? Bomb ticking away. Flashbang not going to be too effective here, but the shots from Simple and Zeus certainly are. Now it's a 2 versus 1. Yeah. And the force buy that absolutely had to work out for NaVi. Here's a complete success here. 2 versus 1 and a guaranteed round as that bomb goes off. It was as soon as they took down the orb of Tabson, that's when the round turned around. That's when Electronic gets 2 kills. Great AK shot towards short. Smooya does save the AWP. Oh, does he? Oh my goodness. Edward removes it. And that's the money completely reset now for Big. There's a reason those force buys are coming in from NaVi, because they made the last few rounds very expensive. They took massive manpower down, and the fact they find all 5 there is going to bring Big into a force buy. They'd be double eco anyway, so I think this will give us CZs, Deagles, and a Scout as we enter round number 20. Mac 10 out for Zeus, and Tizian's been hit by the opening shot from Simple.
Flamey gets in behind Dumpster, does spot Godby running down toward the position, and any hopes that they would have of having a crossfire that was undetected. That goes out the window. Damage is being applied. As Flamey gets up above, you're right, this will give them an angle to Godby he might not anticipate, although having already gotten a kill, that'll be relayed to him. Good flash, forced off of it, but removed only with 4 HP. Not hard, as Tizian now sits with 13, Smooya 32. I think 11-9 looking almost inevitable at this point.
I think you might be right, and then there's an eco to go after that. Smooya, though, a slight chance he can do something about this. He's 32 HP. Scout in hand, it would take some very precise and quick shots, but that's his specialty. Starts to edge around the corner now. Knows he needs to connect at least one of these shots and fall back. He's got Flamey right next to him. That's not a one-shot kill of the Scout. He does need to hit the head still, even with 76. Not going to happen. Smooya goes down, but next does not. Has he got anything left? He's low HP, but Zeus doesn't want to overcommit, so finally gets him with the pistol. And Tizian, the last player remaining. 4 to find, and can't even get the first because he now already misses out on the shot. He's got low HP, and he's going to change position now.
11-9 is done. Big, still without any money.
Yeah, that force buy didn't do too much for them. 1 kill, and they're going to be full eco next round. But we're double eco anyway, so the buy is neither here nor there, really.
Yeah, this round specifically, neither here nor there. Just looking at consideration from the other side, because NaVi isn't extremely well off, aside from Edward and Simple. If they had a few more kills on this, they could have given themselves a chance to break them down much sooner. The problem now is in this double eco. Not only have they put themselves in a hole, they haven't done enough damage to NaVi, meaning they can build up a few better rounds as well. To buy, I mean, rather than actually putting them on the scoreboard, but it takes 1 or 2 to break them down and wear them out of their weapons.
There we have it. Should be the full eco. Tizian the saves, the CZ, and Kevlar. They're discussing their options right now, trying to work out what the next round will bring. Mac 10 for Flamey, perfect weapon for these sort of situations. Very squishy players available on the other side, 4 of them about armor. And with default weaponry, should be the perfect opportunity to find double digits here. He overcommits to the pick a little bit there. Edward down to 7 HP.
And he looks back through the doors at mid, no one on the other side of it. Happy to run the SMG. Smoker picks up the AWP, despite that he's the one with the least amount of health. They won't rely on it, knowing they're against the pistols. They'll just hope to run down, specifically in this case, Smooya, and then just get the plant and get it over with. It's round 22, we anticipate. This one just a matter of course. That's going as it should so far. Maybe running back 10 to get the kill. Even more important, I suppose, from his perspective. Chance he gets one towards CT. Given they're low, fair enough. Now they're getting the kills that certainly would have benefited them in the last round. They've got the man advantage. Still not a lot to work with. And given that they've already spotted one SMG, they might not be too hungry to try and pursue any further kills because they also don't want to give money away.
It's actually getting pretty uncomfortable here.
Very.
CTs, I don't think they can win the round, but they might be able to take all 5 down. Electronic will help out Zeus there with the frag, and Tizzy with the Mac 10. Oh, that's your teammate.
Yeah, you're right about getting all 5 down. That has to be the goal. Get the bomb to take them down as it detonates. Zeus is on it. He might get away. The other two are already scurrying toward the tunnel, so I think the op stays alive in this case. In fact, does Zeus from this position? Yeah. Not quite. Nope, he's gone. Tizzy and Edward and Simple will, though, and that means the op is carried over.
That's exactly what they wanted, though. Big, just take 3 players down. They don't really have to shoot them there. Just keep applying the pressure. And Zeus did go down with a blast. Absolutely cracking stuff. Double digits so for NaVi. They've pulled this back with 3 rounds in a row. The gap was getting a little bit worrying for them. And another partial buy, Matt, has to come in for Big here. CZs again, Mac 10, saving the previous round. They've got decent utility though. They've got 2 smokes and 4 HE grenades, and we know how powerful they can be with those. Where do they plan on using them? I think they dumped most of them at the start towards the long doors. No one was in there this time. Edward learned his lesson from the previous rounds.
Lower tunnels has already gotten past the point of detection from short. Smoke down as well. Met Tapson couldn't have a chance in doing so. Haven't seen the boost yet today. So Big do a fantastic job last round of getting 3 kills. For the aforementioned reasons. Trying to keep that economy somewhat light. That said, there's still 77.50, 88.50 for Edward. Simple, the previous one I mentioned. Next, good start. Gets the M4. Pulls back out. Goes through and finds Simple. Chance in it as he actually shuts down Electronic! And Nex is full of sex as he shuts out Zeus. It is damn fine. All on Flamey. How the hell do you turn that around?
Absolutely sensational scenes. Nex getting it done, and this round is a foregone conclusion at this point. Tizian will be dropped, but surely Flamey can do nothing with this whatsoever. Smoke goes down. He's got a Molotov towards the window, hoping that baits out a rotation from lower B. They're assuming he's gone towards the site, and they would be completely wrong. Another kill available for him. Surely this isn't possible.
Seen a few fine aces. Croman's yesterday's up there. Tapson's in the pistol today. This, I think, would top them all. Given the circumstances, given that we were about to go to a tie game, they were in a triple eco situation, and he's got all 5. What a round! Edward will be kicking himself for giving away that M4.
Absolutely. That was another partial buy for the CTs, and NaVi have given up a lot of ecos so far in this series, and here's Nex.
You pointed it out yesterday that Nex has always been incredible on Dust2. Duncan tweeted it. Nico's going to be wondering where the hell that Nex was 2 years ago when they were on Mousesports. He's at 29 kills. The next best on his team has 12.
What a resurgence. He was amazing in 2015. He was the big talent in Germany, maybe the only one at that point. And it's just remarkable to see him come back and start hitting those big numbers once again. 29 frags after 22 rounds. Pretty insane. Flamey top fragging for NaVi with 21. We get into the next round though. Another buy available for NaVi. A big steal one back with the CZs.
Simple holds to Catwalk. Interestingly, this becomes a reset round after being 2 force buys and an eco. But Big can put the nail eventually a little bit deeper into the coffin. I won't say all the way there yet. Good shot from Simple to start off. This time he actually wins the duel against Smooya, but Tizian responds. So they're not out of the woods yet with the opening pick. NaVi and Zeus is taking a bit of damage from the Flames, manages the drop down. They'll split toward B. Good rotation therefore from Gabi, because he'll be able to spot them. Simple in turn has not seen him, but now he's aware, as he always seems to be. But Gabi was posted and ready and left nothing to be desired. Knew that there was a possibility a player would turn around and check it. Zeus tries to hold off. They knew he'd gone into the corner. They find him. Edwards in the sight, but they already pushed back through tunnels, which means they completely surround him. And Tizian gets the shot. Great mid-round calls from Big, from Gabi, and now it's on to Electronic, trying to isolate. Oh, himself! He reads it! He reads it! And an arc! A power surge right through two!
What the hell just happened there? You were absolutely spot on. Big made some sensational plays there, getting the information, backstabbing their opposition. It looked like the bomb going down was as good as it was going to get for NaVi, as Electronic completely destroys them there. The problem is, they all did go in at the same point. They could have been a lot smarter with the approach. One at the door, one at the window, then face the tunnel. They got in at the same point. He doesn't have to aim at the second player. That's remarkable, and this could be a difficult situation to recover from.
Unfortunately, in this case, it's not the thought that counts.
Yeah.
They did the right thing. They wanted to try and trade off of him and overwhelm him, but man, he read it, and they just gifted it.
Well, this one's certainly starting to heat up now. We're having some massive moments from both teams. An eco victory before from Big, and a 1 versus 4 from Electronic. Absolutely sensational play by him. First kill for Tapson there. They've got the double AWP setup. Hasn't affected them too much. They still have the rifles, the AWPs, as Smooya gets a second kill.
Still a chance to pull this back for Big, despite heartbreak in the last round. Reset certainly comes in after 3, but given that it was an eco, or force buy, if you will, with the CZ win, bought them some space. Tapson finally gets that double AWP rolling. 1 kill apiece for the AWPs as Nex and Gabi start to push up. Gabi has a CZ himself this round, but he'll be able to go first. Although I say that, Molotov segregates, doesn't even matter. They find Nex behind him. He gets the bomb down temporarily, can't get a gun. He's stuck in the corner. They try and chase him, and he can't get away.
It's going to be another tight round here at 30 seconds. It's a 3 versus 2. Tizian in a great position to lock them down here. AK-47 in towards lower B. If they went in that position, he would absolutely be taken down. Edward, Zeus make their way up towards A. Tapson does have the AWP, so good at this angle. Watch out for him. You feel like he's going to nail at least one of these shots. There it is. That should be the round now. Edward with it all to do. Bomb will be planted. Can he find anything more?
Tapson not leaving anything on the table. Doesn't go back to play safe. How does Smooya? Give me that guy's config. He's able to jump up every single time. That's his 4th elevator jump kill this weekend. Gets it once more. They'll take the round as well. Incredible performance again, but Tapson, you can see it. As soon as that bomb plant came in, he didn't care. He didn't want to go back to work pit. He didn't want to play it safe and get the angle. They just said, run him down. We know where he is. He's forced to commit. And Big have a 2-round lead on 13, and now finally they'll put NaVi with little to work with and back down to just the hand weapons. I say that. There's a reason for the timeout. Simple's not quite to an off, but they could go for the tactical purchase, and NaVi is one of the teams that has utilized this so many times in the past, bringing out a guy of Simple's caliber and giving him the 1 AK and trying to let him go to work. So we'll see what they elect to do. They could play this safe. Big's not anywhere near map point yet. Still would only hit 14 if they concede this round, and that would strengthen their purchase moving forward. It's a more conservative approach.
Mac 10 is out. And this is another force buy by the looks of things, Matt. Galil AK, 2 pistols and a Mac 10. This could be the end of it. There is no loss bonus built up on either side for that matter. But if NaVi give this one away, they'll be 14-11 down and be completely broken for the cash. Big looking on course right now with a B rush coming through. Tizian hasn't connected the bullets, but there they go. He does find 2 and the smoke's still down. He's pushed them right off. The B rush, the Hail Mary play has not worked out so far.
Flashes again. Tapson's able to take out Flamey as a result of it. Simple has to rotate back around. They went for it. So now map point does become a problem. Conservative was never the case, as Gabi again is able to push out long. They take any bit you give them. We saw it yesterday. They're willing to push B when they lose out long themselves on the CT side. Gabi wasn't as effective. He did get into this long corridor a few times. Remember, late in that game as well against FaZe, he nearly gave it up by pushing. You called it. He thought they went for a boost on the FaZe side. He pushed out, went down. He hasn't pushed today, maybe with that in his mind, but it works this time in Big Find round 14. In doing so, this time the money is gone.
Like I said, that should be in now. It's going to force NaVi into another situation where they just don't have the bankroll to get anything going, but they can't allow Big to get to map points. They will force into it. CZ, Steagles, they rushed B before. It really didn't work out for them. Great utility usage as usual from Big. Smoke down there, grenades in, full spray. You don't really have to aim, you just spray wildly into the tunnel. Didn't look like it was going to work initially, but then found two out of nowhere. Round 26, Big looking for that map point, and by the looks of things, they're going to get it. 5 pistols up against him here. And they've got a nice little setup. Taps him with that all towards short. Next beneath, he's going to hit this first shot. Make it two. Make it two.
It was still the first shot, you didn't lie, but he gets both kills. They wrap around, they're low on HP. Electronic still trying to battle back valiantly, but now Next steps up and Tabson has relocated, reset. Gabi gets the final kill, 15 rounds.
Well, there we have it. The force spike completely shut down by Tabson. Nice angle for him to hold. As I said, I thought he's at least going to get one here. Found 2 with 1 bullet. Always quite a special moment when that happens. Oh, right through the shoulder of the second. And it has to be pistols again, Matt. 4 rounds in a row required for overtime. I don't think they'll get anywhere near it at this point. They just don't have the finances to make anything happen here. It would take a catastrophe of a play from Big to give this round away.
Got B, here we go. We mentioned it. He flirts with the idea. This time backs off, knowing the situation, the gravitas of losing a weapon. We saw what that can do when Next picked up the M4.
Absolutely.
And here we go. Narrow choke point again. Fires in back to Electronic.
5 versus 4. Nice pick from Gabi. Doesn't overcommit to the angle as well. He falls back. He knows this is map point. I've got there's the opening. And now my teammates with the crossfires can finish things off. Tabson hasn't really missed much at all in this second half. There's 2 kills to go. Make it 1, Zeus. With 5 players up against him, but that's going to be absolutely no chance for him. Smoothie to finish things off. 16-11 as Big bounce back here in the grand final. It's a marathon, not a sprint, and they'll take map number 2, potential of 5 coming up here. Great scenes from them, and they've shown us once more their CT side is pretty impenetrable.
Unbeaten in the Lanxess on Dust2, you're right, the CT side has been remarkable. Remember, I said the series almost starts here in some ways. If they had stole Overpass, they go to Train next. Remember, they beat FaZe on Train yesterday, so there's a chance, slim one, but a chance they could actually pull this back in their favor after the 3 maps are completed. You said it, there's a potential for 5, and I wouldn't be surprised we see all of them at this rate.
Incendiary out.